But the question is, does he lick him's nose? The hell's with that meme? It's cute. He's fun with Kirby. It's great. He's small, he brawl, but most importantly, he loves you all. Great! Good little Curbs. Also, there's a little burp. There's a little... I don't know if I have it open or no. There's a little burp in the Mario Odyssey, which I really like, which you use for the boss fight. It's a great burp. It's a great burp. It's a little pokey nose. I love him! Oh, it's cute! Mm. Yeah. Isn't it Reza and I? Because you're not possessing anything, are you? Besides Reza and me. Why is it me? I don't know what me references. Meh. Yeah, in Dutch it doesn't work, and I think, There we go. Oh wow, that's an interesting rule. Jesus Christ, this is complicated. Okay. That's neat. Oh, this is strictly not correct. This is annoying. Is this song ever used? Ow! Let's turn on another song. It's weird that I don't remember any of Bryce's songs, or anyone really. The names at least. I mean, there's some good dramatic music here that really sets the scene. But at the same time, it's like, the writing gets very confused sometimes. Like here, where it's just jumping all over the place. Like, I feel that the how do I put this? The writing is like if you had a conversation branch with someone in like a normal video game. You had a conversation branch, and there's like an option which is like, my child is missing. It's like, my child is missing. I'll never live without them. And then the other option is, what's the weather like? It's like, it's great weather, you know? Like, that's what the conversation sometimes feels like, is the segues are a little too strong. Law enforcement. No, not like that. Vets handhaving instantie. I mean, that's a great way to put it, but that's kind of how people get away with crimes. It's because you look once and you're like, I'm not going to look serious. That's why, as a cop, you always got to give it your 100%. You never know if someone tried to hide it, and the most obvious clues aren't there, but there are clues. That's annoying, because that takes a lot out of you if you try to give 100% for everything. I mean, since you don't know where Izumi lives, there's this weird, interesting part where it's like, you can't prove anything as a result of that. It's a nice rain outside, by the way. I think I'm gonna go for a walk, but unlike usual, I'm not gonna wear my glasses, because every time I wear my glasses get wet. And I don't usually walk outside without my glasses. It's gonna be a weird experience to walk outside and be like, man, everything's blurry. Everything's got this veneer on it, this Vaseline. It's a weird experience. It's very, very strange. Gonna get some sandwiches. Some tiny buns. Put some spreadable cheese in that. Nice little snack. Nice and light, too. Hey, if I keep this up, I might actually make my calorie count. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. I just had to change a bit. If he did anything to you, you really deserve it. Because that's kind of what Bryce is hinting at. But he's trying to flower it up a bit. But that's not really what you should do. He's like, yeah, if you really... Because he's such a buddy-buddy level. Why would he be so nice about it? Why wouldn't he be like, if you did it, you deserve it. That's how he works. Which, at the same time, is a terrible way to look at things. Which makes me realize that I probably shouldn't do it. There we go. You know, it's kind of weird. There's a timeline in which you go back to humanity and kind of save humanity. Which kind of cuts it off, although I think it could be implied that you actually go accidentally into the time loop or something. But all that considered, like if that is a closed loop, like that one also goes back, what does it mean? There's a looped version of you that essentially has a lot to hide. It'd be kind of fun if, like, in the evil ending, specifically, you are the one that the humans talk to. Like, the game has already pulled that shtick once. It's entirely possible, like, well, Reza, you were the patsy all along, that's why we sent you. We could miss you. We could miss you, Reza, but not me. They sent me because I'm like, that'd be great! Like, you have this turnaround where it's like, I'm the mastermind all along. It's hilarious, and that actually follows up on a thread that I don't think is ever followed up upon in any way whatsoever. It might actually come up. Maybe the story's preempted me, because I mentioned before, preemption is the story does, except for the parts that kind of matter. Which is kind of dumb. I like this. That's what I did. I just did. It's great. Ah, it's great. I know how many lines I've done. I think I'm just going to do this a little bit. Well, Bryce is only like 28. Unless dragons don't get much older than 40, I can't imagine him being this embittered with the festival already. Especially since Dean's still into it. And Anna's still like into it. Although Anna's kind of young. I don't think it's ever established how old Lorem is. Which is weird. It's kind of a good point. Like, you are kind of... You're not really defending Reza, because, like, here's the thing. There's a lot of people who are like, the reason the Middle East is so fucked up is because of the war of the West. But a lot of those people take away the agency to not respond to violence with violence. I understand the need to defend a nation, but if you defend a nation, you're not going to go to that other nation and start kicking their asses there. The United States military is not in the U.S. that is fighting in the Middle East. You're taking away agency by saying, these people have to respond. No. You want to know something funny? The Americas were kind of filled with a bunch of people who were like, man, you know what kind of sucks? Hating each other. You know what's really great? Loving each other. They called them hippies. People beat on the hippies, and the hippies were like, man, that kind of sucks, but we've just got to show them that peace is the right thing. Mahatma Gandhi. Motherfuckers like, man, I'm a fucking badass, so I'm just going to sit here, and I'm going to be hungry, and you motherfuckers better turn around real snappity fast. You don't have to respond to violence with violence, and if you insist that that is the only way to respond to something, well, congratulations. You've just implied that someone else is an animal with no reasonable thought. The reason the Middle East hates America is because of the heathens in the West. They've been shouting that from the top of their lungs, and everyone's like, but it's about America. No, it's simpler than that. To some people, religion is still a massive, important part. And that's why I hate the story so much, is it doesn't extrapolate the religious element of this. To some people in the Middle East, going on a holy war is totally a way of life. That's a totally valid thing to do, because you gotta get that heaven in the pocket. But like the same with the dragons is, there are dragons who are religious, and clearly they care about the concept of the creator and everything it's done, because so many laws and traditions are based on the fucking creator, and yet, it sidesteps the fact that religion isn't that big a deal. No, it is. You cannot say that. If the Shahira motherfucking law was instituted, and there's no Muslims around, that doesn't fucking mean that the law isn't religious. I'm just saying it's fucking stupid the way it handles that. It sidesteps the entire... It's a great narrative line. It's a great character you can put under it. A character who maybe is anti. Maybe like a Satan worshipper. Who's like, I think humans are the devil. You know, that kind of stuff. Like maybe Dragonkind is, you know, you could do something with it, but nothing is done with it. It's just left by the wayside. And I know that this is a dating game, but it tries so much to not be a dating game, it cannot sidestep that. It has this whole angle of, there's other cities and there's political intrigue. None of it happens. It's dumb. It's weird. It's sidestepping the issue. It's loudly shouting from the top of its lungs that the only reason the Middle East and ISIS are coming after America is because of the war, where they're shouting from the top of their lungs, we hate you because you're not Muslims. We hate you because you're not following God's will. And that is the problem here. The story has a better story to tell, but it doesn't get the chance to talk about it. Which is generally a problem with time travel stories, is they generally focus on the less interesting parts. Because it's kind of hard to know what the best part of a time travel story is, or exploration of another world. Like, that's hard. There's so many elements to it. And that's why, in most circumstances, you laser focus it. You say, you're the culture guy. You go in there to learn about their culture. Everyone else does the other stuff. Like, this guy's gonna do... Like, none of that. Like, there's only 2 fucking humans. How the hell have you avoided being assaulted by the press or anything? You're not protected. There's no guard. Sebastian specifically leaves you. The amount of sidestepping that happens is bananas. It's bananas. It's just weird. Unless dragons are that like, oh, wow, I better be polite about it. I better listen to the government. I better listen to the government. Yeah, because Anna sure did that. And fucking Remy sure did that when he basically committed fraud. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Just saying. Just saying. Sometimes things are not the way they seem. Just because people are shouting loud things doesn't mean... Just because that's what you hear that's what the truth is. I mean, I'll give ISIS one thing. Place is kind of heathenistic. There's Jews here. No, nobody likes the Jews. Everyone's like, man, who's the first people we can hate? It's the Jews. It's universal. It's kind of weird. It's kind of fucking weird that everyone goes after the Jews. It's kind of weird that the Nazis would go with the KKK. Like, I understand the point of the Ubermensch, like, sure, but why align with the KKK? Why would you need the KKK in Wolfenstein? Why do they need the KKK to be on their side? The Nazis are, like, a step further. They're like, no, we don't just want white people. We want white people with blue hair, with blue eyes and white hair, and blonde hair. Why would you align with someone who's like, we're just a little more moderate than that? Like, why? Has the KKK... I wonder. Actually, I haven't read the lore. Maybe the KKK is reformed, and it's like, it's a shell of an organization. That'd be a great angle to take, by the way. Is the KKK's there, but they're, like, obsolete, and they know it. And they're like, they have to constantly kiss ass to stay relevant. That'd be great. It's a great story to tell. You can write something cool about that. I don't think it's the organization you want to humanize, but it's an alternate universe. I'm just saying. It's an interesting point to explore. Of, like, you're an asshole, but the people above you are bigger assholes, and you have to kiss it as hard as you can to stay alive. And it sucks. Or better, the Nazis are like, black people get the same rights. And then the KK is like, fuck! Either we literally get destroyed as terrorists instantaneously with a big old atomic bomb, or we start kissing ass and be like, maybe. Like, there's a fun stories you can tell with that. It's not going to be found in a fucking Wolfenstein game. But I'm just saying, good stories and good ideas... Well, good ideas don't exist. The execution of the idea is what matters. And knowing how to pick your angles is important. Consider this writing 101. How to talk a whole bunch of smack about stuff. I do love the fact that this is an organization of fucking Jews who makes some very fancy shit. It's nice. I love the idea. It's also in Mouth and I'm a Scream, where like the Jews are the golem. The golem. Of the lost tribe. It's a nice little thing. High little idea. Maybe that's why everyone's jealous. Except if that was the case, wouldn't they have it already? Like, if something like the Holy Grail actually existed, wouldn't it already A been found and B been used by someone really bad? And if God only interferes with those things, how fucking lazy do you have to be to only interfere when something goes against, like, what you want? It's like, oh no, someone's using this Holy Grail to cure all the sick. Better send it back to hell. There you go. You gotta be sick, humans. Go invent modern medicine. Maybe I'll talk then. Man, that'd be terrible. That being said, the Knights Templar... Actually, the Knights Templar is an interesting, very complex history of a lot of accusations, the Inquisition. I'm not gonna say anything about the Crusades. Let me just say this about the Crusades. There's a lot of sides to it. There were a lot of nice people who tried to do nice things. And those nice people were not necessarily the Christians, who for the most part are essentially what the Muslims are now. Like, the Crusades were a lot of them were criminals and people who kind of didn't have things on the right side with God. And they went on the Crusades because it was like a pink slip. It was like, here you go, you're gonna go straight out of hell, right into heaven, if you just do this little holy crusade for us. And I feel it's like the same reason a lot of these lone wolves stand up. Is they're like, man, I'm gonna go straight to hell, but if I take part in this holy crusade, I'll get the fucking pink slip out of there. Like I said, to some people, religion is still a real thing. And that's kind of the problem with Western secularism, is we forget that. We sort of say, religion's not a big deal. And I feel that this game sort of reflects that, is the creator doesn't understand that to some people, religion is a huge part, huger than anything. Because that's possible. This is how things work. Man, I remember some guy was, I think it was tomato or something, or potato, something with Ado. I would say that if God is greater than men, that's fucking stupid. And if God's less than men, then what the fuck are you doing? Or something like that. I could look it up, but then you're gonna see a lot of names, and that's not good. But let me just point like this. You grow up in an environment that's not their environment. You did not grow up with their culture. You don't understand what they want. Like, I'm surprised they aren't going after the East. Probably because the Russians and the Chinese would probably not give a shit. It would just make it all go away. Like, the Chinese are ignoring it because they already have enough problems keeping fucking Kim Jong-un from blowing up the world. Like, I'm pretty sure they're not too happy with this. Like, war with the US isn't exactly a massive win situation. They got better ways of doing it. Just economic warfare is a lot more efficient. For one, you get their economy, which is a huge boon. And second, you don't have to get anyone killed or spend expensive stuff on stuff that goes away. You just have to be economically smarter. And being smarter is always part of it. Like, even if you go to war, you gotta have some smarts. Gotta have some smart people who think smartly. You can't escape needing smart people. You can't just throw people at a wall. If someone's smart, he'll make a kill box. You know, that's the problem. Ironically, China's entire economy is condensed in a few locations. So, China's probably not up best off. That being said, I found out that apparently the US missile defense system isn't that great. Like, the odds are not that great. I always got the impression that whatever anti-missile system they had was advanced enough to stop any missile, but I don't know. If it could stop any missile, I guess they would have just destroyed the USSR with nukes instead of what happened. Which honestly is the better option, all things considered. I'm pretty sure whatever would have remained of Russia wouldn't be too happy about the circumstances, and would have led to its own little problems. Man, we're talking a lot about stuff, aren't we? It's probably because the screen's so bright and I want to go outside and get a sandwich. I'm hungry. When I'm hungry, or when I'm tired, I start saying stupid things. Consider this an excuse to just smack me on the head. But if you do it, you gotta tell me this is why you smacked me on the head. Just as a reminder, if you ever see me, ever smack me on the head, you gotta tell me. Because I want to know that you remember and care. And I'm gonna be like, oh, that's so nice of you. How adorable. And then it uses fireworks to sidestep it. And just like that, I'm going to sidestep all the shit I said, some of which is true, and you really should consider it, and the other parts which are like, kind of regret that. There now exists audio source to this, but I don't care. The funny thing is, I just don't give a damn. I just don't. Like, some people are like, oh no, I said stupid shit online. You gotta own it, boy. That's what you said, that's what you are. You gotta own it. Either you say, straight to someone's face, I said that, but I was an idiot. Or you say, and I said it, and I meant it. You gotta do that. You can't just make it go away nowadays. You gotta live up to yourself. You gotta have a spine of steel, and eyes of diamonds. And make them sparkle, sparkle. I don't want this. No, I don't want to start forward. Ooh. Anyway, I hope you have fun turning all this into some hilarious sound bites. And maybe even something better. Maybe into one of those songs. I really like the Underneath the Water song. It was the one song he made that I liked. I hate it when people are one-hit wonders like that. It almost makes you go... Next on fireworks! Shove it up your ass, Bryce! It'll be the one time you're actually charming and useful to society.